Save to ClickUp, the Google Chrome extension that we've built at Upsys, is out in a brand new version. It's got a fresh new look. It's now got AI focused at productivity and personal use across the web, but also your ClickUp workspace. It's an alternative at what ClickUp Brain can be, and it's focused on getting things done. It's a sidekick that you're gonna have on the right panel of your browser, and you're gonna be able to create tasks, summarize web pages, track time, or even make changes in bulk straight inside of ClickUp just by talking to AI or with your voice. So the first thing you gotta know is that Save to ClickUp is available as a Chrome and Firefox extension. If you have any Chrome-based browser or if you use Firefox, you're gonna be able to go to the store and download Save to ClickUp for free. Once you do that, you should have Save to ClickUp appearing here in your right panel. So you can easily open it and close it just through the shortcut here. Make sure you pin the extension so that it's always on here at the top right of your browser. The first thing I'm gonna do is connect my ClickUp account. And then you're gonna see this screen and it's gonna load your workspaces and show you the ones you have. So you're gonna have to pick your workspace and basically you're gonna see your different ClickUp spaces as well as a list underneath them. What I can do is pick a list. I have actually a list called Read Later. So I just had to search for it. And then he's gonna ask you if you wanna enable Neuro to help you. So Neuro is an AI aiming at assisting you in your Save to ClickUp experience. So I've enabled Neuro and from there I can start working with it. The first feature I'm gonna show you is about saving your web pages. I'm gonna go into an article here and say I'm interested about this article and I've enabled Neuro Summary. So Neuro, the AI, is gonna summarize the article for me. So if I were to click Save to ClickUp, it's gonna save the page and summarize the article. But before I do that, say I wanna take a screenshot of an interesting part of the summary. For example, there's this interesting diagram in the summary, and I'm gonna click Visible Screenshot. It's gonna create a whole screenshot of that section of the article and save it as an attachment. So if I click Save to ClickUp, not only is it gonna save the article, summarize it, but it's also gonna capture the quick screenshot that I took right now. And I can open the article in ClickUp and view it very quickly. So I can read it, view all the content, and I also have the screenshot here. And most of all, I have the summary made by the AI. So this article by the HBR, I can read it entirely, but if I want, I can just capture the key points as a comment and just view them later. So this is the first feature of Neuro. The second feature I'm gonna show you is gonna be about capturing a task. So say you are browsing the web and you find this cool agency named Upsys and you wanna book a call with them and you wanna add it to your to-do list. So I'm gonna find a list that's appropriate here in my ClickUp account, onboarding list, for example, and I need to book a call with this agency. So I'm gonna capture the web page just as a screenshot if I wanted, put a due date, do it by the 22nd, and book a call with this ClickUp agency. And then from there, I can add a description. But what's cool is that I can use my voice if I want. So if I dictate my description, it's gonna be able to save it with a voice transcript and I'm gonna be able to type 4 times faster as if I use my hands. So if you click Dictate Description and you allow microphone use in your browser, you're gonna be able to say whatever you want and it's gonna record it. So if I say, for example, book a call with this ClickUp agency, we need support on our ClickUp and create some automations and AI agents for our workflow as a web design agency, and I click stop, it's gonna record everything and I can even fix the grammar with Neuro if I wanted, and then it's ready to go and be captured as a task in ClickUp. So it's more for power users, obviously, can also more easily create a task straight from ClickUp, but just having that sidekick that lets you create a task straight from your sidebar on any web context, I find it very handy. We use it a lot at the agency. When I have an idea, I know I have to create it in a certain list and I just speak and it just captures it that way. I find it amazing. So have my task created, I can assign it if I want, I can make some changes, or I can also ask my sidekick Neuro to make some changes to the task with my voice as well. So what I can say here is, Neuro, please set the batch to now and set the assignee to Ramzi and set a start date to next week. And I'm gonna transcribe this and click send. And Neuro, my AI, is gonna know what changes to do. And if I click accept, it's gonna apply them to that task. And that's what I love about Save to ClickUp. It's just like such a snappier sidekick as compared to ClickUp Brain. Now, this is not to go against ClickUp Brain. I love ClickUp Brain, and I think it's a great agent when it comes to like harnessing all the data in your ClickUp workspace and being able to create super agents and automations and just being able to ask questions to meeting notes that you have created or have workflows running behind the scenes as ambient agents. But I see Neuro more as a complement to ClickUp Brain. You can subscribe to ClickUp Brain for your agency if everyone's harnessing AI, but if you're the sole power user in your team, or if you have a small business, or even if you're solo and you need a sidekick that only will cost you a fraction of the price of ClickUp Brain, then Neuro and Save to ClickUp is the tool for you. One last feature I want to show you when you're in the web is capturing your time. If you're on any page working on a topic and you're working on a task for a client, so say I'm working for Monsters Inc. and I'm doing some research, I can just start tracking task on, say, the project launch and handover and say, I am starting my tracking. It's a billable time and I'm doing some research on launch campaigns 2026. So I made a typo here. I can quickly fix it with Neuro and I can start working and do my thing. And if I wanted, I can even close Save to ClickUp, even go on Pinterest, make some research if I'm a design agency, whatever use case I have. And at the moment that I'm done with my work, I can reopen Save to ClickUp and then save my task. So say I've spent 2 hours on this topic, I'm gonna pause my timer and click Save to ClickUp, and it's gonna save time this time. So if you're tracking time as a team and you want a sidekick, this is also a great use case of Save to ClickUp. You can just capture time super quickly. As you can see here, it's tracked 1 minute. If I open it up, I can see research on the campaigns, it's tracked time on me. And it basically lets you capture tasks, capture web pages, and track time from your web context. And if you don't want to use the guided interface, by the way, you can ask Neuro to do that. So if you want to capture a web page in ClickUp, it's going to ask you if you want to take a screenshot. You can say yes, and then it's just going to like do the job of capturing the page for you and save it to your ClickUp account. So it works whether as a chat interface or just with a regular interface with different buttons. Now I'm going to talk about pricing of Save to ClickUp and Neuro AI later, but just so you know, these three features, tasks, web page, and time, are completely free. And if you want to use AI, there's a free trial. I'll talk about it later. And you can then use Neuro, give it a shot, and therefore make a decision and subscribe to Save to ClickUp with the different plans that we offer. Now, with that being said, let me show you the last feature of Save to ClickUp 3.0 that we've built. This one is super cool. It's gonna let you make changes in bulk straight in ClickUp. So for example, you can ask it to apply the values of custom fields to a task, to assign some tasks to certain people. I've displayed a few fields here. And the first thing we're gonna do is ask Neuro to apply this type custom field value to its subtask. So I'm gonna select my task and ask Neuro, can you apply the type custom field value to all the subtasks of monsters.org? And what Neuro is gonna do is understand that I'm talking about this field and apply the values to all the subtasks. So you're gonna see all of these subtasks fill in and all the subtasks have values applied. Now let's go into another list and try this on an even harder request. So I'm gonna select 3 of those tasks and I'm gonna say, apply the values of those 3 tasks to all their respective subtasks. Click send, and what it's gonna do is select those 3 tasks and apply all the values to the subtasks. So you're gonna see the start and due dates changing here. It's starting to work already. All the batches are starting to change. The values here are being set to 4 days ago today. The assignees are being added as well. So doing this by hand would obviously take a lot of time. And the cool thing is if you close that window, that sidebar, or you go do some work somewhere else, these changes are going to continue happening, even if you're asking something else to Neuro. So say I want to change the grouping here from a grouping by status to a grouping by due date. Instead of grouping the tasks by status, I want to group them by due date. And I've spoken here and asked Neuro to make the changes, and it's gonna group the view by due date. It's understood what I want to do, and in a blink of an eye, the view is now grouped by due date. Now, obviously, I could make the change myself here, but doing it with your voice just makes sure that it's reliable, that it's exactly how you want to see things, and as you can see, it's super fast. As compared to ClickUp Brain, which asks you a lot of follow-up questions to make things accurate, which is fair, Neuro is more focused at personal productivity. It's there to help you get things done. The same thing, you can open a task and improve the description of the task and set the item value to folder. It's gonna confirm with you one time and you're gonna say, yes, do it. It doesn't follow up too much. Leave a comment on the task to say that we have to do it by next week and set the start date and due date to the Monday and Friday of next week. And all I have to do is click send and it's gonna do the changes again. What I personally do with Neuro is I go into voice mode and I just speak straight away to the app. I basically can tell it to set the task time estimate to 4 hours. And if I click stop and send, it's gonna do it. And all I'm gonna have to do is approve the change and the task estimate is gonna change. So obviously you can ask a lot of things in sequence or all in one big sentence. You're gonna be able to change tasks, change the setup of views, you can change groupings, you can change filterings. So say, I want to filter out all the tasks that are not in progress in this view and click stop. And it's going to apply the changes to the view and update the filters. And all you're going to see is the tasks in progress. So you can focus on what matters. All I had to do is use 5 seconds of my time, speak, and then Neuro applies. That's what I love about this brand new version of Save to ClickUp and the use of AI. We found ourselves speaking to our computer and using Neuro for a lot of changes in our own ClickUp workspaces, but also when we do builds for clients. And I'm excited at improving Neuro. Now, obviously, Neuro is AI. ClickUp has its own AI. It has ClickUp Brain. So now, why should you go for Neuro and how can you choose? If you go to the website of Save to ClickUp, there's a comparison table where we explain how the official extension of ClickUp works and how ClickUp Brain works. You can access ClickUp Brain from here, by the way. There's its own sidebar. But just so you know, and to summarize, Save to ClickUp is focused at productivity. It's not going to ask a lot of follow-up questions. It's context-based. So anytime you're on a list or on a task, it's going to know what you're talking about. So it's just going to do what you ask it to do. And it doesn't have as many capabilities as ClickUp AI. It doesn't link up to Gmail and all the fancy things that ClickUp Brain can do. Now, Save to ClickUp is completely free and always has been. I've released these extensions about 2 years ago now, and it was first focused on just capturing web pages into ClickUp and taking screenshots. And it still does that. And all of those task, web pages, and time features are free. I also didn't talk about it, but another thing it can do is automatically help you track your time and focus. And I've actually talked about those features in other videos on my YouTube channel. So it's got a lot of other power user features called boosters straight into ClickUp. But most of all, it's now got AI. For the AI features, obviously there's AI running behind the scenes and AI has a cost. Therefore, there are two plans. There's the task plan at $7 a month, paid yearly, and the Workspace plan at $15 a month, paid yearly as well. So if you go for a yearly plan, you're paying a fraction of the cost of ClickUp. Because if you're 10 to 20 users in your team and only 2 or 3 users want AI for personal productivity inside ClickUp, you're only gonna have to go for 2 or 3 licenses. So you would basically pay between 20 and 30 times less than what you would be paying with ClickUp Brain. And now let's focus on the difference between the two plans. The task plan is aimed at users that only want to harness the AI in the context of tasks or on the web. So any change you ask here on the web is included on the task plan. You can also use your voice as many times as you want, by the way. Or if you're here in a task, you can make any changes you want. However, when you're in a list or in a folder and you want to make changes in bulk, you're going to have to go for the Workspace plan. Change grouping, create views, change filtering, unassign tasks, assign tasks in bulk. You can select as many tasks as you want, as I've shown you, and it goes into the context of Neuro. That is part of the Workspace plan, which is going to be at $15 a month paid yearly. But if you subscribe within the first 50 people of the task plan or 25 people of the Workspace plan, you can claim your founding price, which is a 20 to 30% discount. So only for $490 or $1290 paid yearly, you're going to have access to unlimited use of Neuro AI inside of tasks or inside your Workspace. And very, very soon, I'm going to talk to you about mail triage into ClickUp. Neuro AI is going to be able to go through your Gmail inbox and sort out your emails as ClickUp tasks or comments. Now, give Save to ClickUp a try. Let me know if you see any quirks, any bugs, or if you would like to add some features. There's a link down below to leave some feedback on Save to ClickUp. I'm excited that you tried it out. We've been using it for a few weeks now at Upsys. It helps us work faster, create and manage tasks with our voice, and it's really a complement to what ClickUp AI is. So what we do is we use ClickUp Brain for large actions and to chat with it or to do some research online, or we even set up super agents. I've talked about that in another video. But for quick actions and quick changes, we just ask Save to ClickUp to make the changes, and it's going to act faster than ClickUp Brain. So it's really, really targeted at being snappy, fast, and acting quick for you. So if you don't need AI for your whole team, go give Save to ClickUp a shot. You got 50 free executions anyway. You can try the AI 50 times completely free. And then from there, you can either go for the task plan or the Workspace plan. And I'll see you very soon on another video on this YouTube channel. And until then, stay productive.